Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Hello and welcome to this week's Z to A of Life Skills podcast with me, Jules and Mark from the multi-award winning Future Toolbox.
Hello, hello.
This is where we pick a letter from the alphabet and discuss the life skills around that subject for you to improve your life. So which letter have we chosen this week?
So this week we have N, which is for nice. And the topic is being nice for the sake of being nice.
Absolutely. Sounds fantastic.
Do we have any nice people on the show today, apart from us two, of course?
We're the nicest couple ever. But yes, we do. We have with us again this week the wonderful, lovely, luscious, I can't think of anything else beginning with L, Lex Lovell. Welcome, Lex.
Thank you. Nice to be back again.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. And yeah, remind our listeners what it is that you do.
Okay, so I'm a NLP practitioner, which is working one-on-one with clients, just helping them overcome any issues that they are struggling with in life. So it's just working through mindsets, thoughts, feelings, behaviours, and trying to get them to a version of themselves that they want to be.
Fantastic. And we all need that help.
Yeah.
It's almost like being, and I heard this the other day, a mindset coach.
Yes,
I love that title.
Yeah. That's it. When you look at it, you think, God, there's so many things that you could be called. But yeah, the mindset is nice because then you just takes you to you working with a mind.
Yeah. And that's key for everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is your mindset. Well, I haven't seen you for a little while, so what have you been up to the last?
Nice. You've been up to anything nice? People say that, don't
That's
they?
nice.
You've done anything nice lately?
Do you
You had a
know
nice
what?
weekend? You had a nice week? Yeah.
You've had a nice holiday and a nice birthday.
Yes. So that's been my main thing. Yep. Just come back from birthday holiday. So Bratislava and Vienna. Oh. Beautiful. And watched Pink in Vienna.
Oh,
amazing.
A little bit jealous.
Awesome. If you haven't seen anyone, definitely recommend it.
Well, it was really good because everybody was putting up videos or pictures and that on Facebook. So we got to see a little bit of it via that, didn't we? But she is phenomenal, isn't she?
Definitely.
Yeah. I bet
And
she's a nice person.
I was just going to say, she seems a really nice person.
Do you know that's what I said to someone the other day? It's not just her performance. I just love her as a person because I just think she's so down to earth and amazing. Yeah.
She is. She's down to earth, but her psychology of life.
Yeah, that's what I love. Yeah.
It's kind of like how we are, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I think that's why we like her, isn't it?
I was just thinking, that's why we're attracted.
Especially when we perform on stage as well and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. But you do.
You
Just
not
in a
me.
different way.
We do, yeah. Well, you've started performing on stage in Lanzarote. You sing a bit now, don't you?
Yeah. My mate Spencer, who also is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, has started teaching me voice keys and everything like that.
Oh, really?
I thought keys were something you stuck in a door to lock and unlock it. Or in
When he
your car.
first asked you, he said, "What key do you sing in?" Mark's face went completely blank.
Yeah, there was a vacant look there for a while. But yeah, that's a random act of kindness because again, it's a friend who's helping you achieve
Most
something
definitely.
you want to, and I think that's what being nice is all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, and he is a very nice person.
Yeah, we'll have to get him to listen to this now. Yeah, all the nice things that he's saying about it. But we all think about being nice for the sake of being nice today, which is a phrase that we've heard a lot of people say over the years in business, and it generally brings people towards you. But it's also good just to be nice in life because
Definitely.
last week's episode was all about building your brand, and you'd rather be known as a nice person than an horrible one, putting it bluntly, wouldn't you? But yeah, I've got a story about being nice for the sake of being nice and how sometimes it can pay off. So a couple of years ago when we went backpacking around India, we were on our flight home, and it was obviously a very, very long flight. And we were in the middle aisle of the jumbo jet. There was 4 seats in the middle of the plane, and we were sitting on the 2 aisle seats, and there was a chap sitting the opposite side, so there was a seat between me and him. And the lady who was sort of looking after us kept coming up and down the aisle. She was chatting to us. She was really, really friendly. But the chap on the other side, who was being served by the other person, was really rude. So every time he wanted something, he'd press the bell and then he'd click his fingers. And there was quite a few times where he sent stuff back for absolutely no reason, or he complained about the service he was getting, which again was for absolutely no reason. Anyway, at the point when the food came round, I was really hungry. And we had a really nice little meal. And as the hostess came around to take the plates away, she said, "Oh, how was your food?" And I said, "You know what, it was really, really nice. Thanks very much. With all respect, aeroplane food isn't always great, but we've really, really enjoyed that." And about 2 or 3 minutes later, she came back down the aisle and leaned across the really rude guy and said, "Oh, we've got some extra food. Would you like it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd absolutely love it. Yes, please." So we got 2 extra portions of food, and she went to us. The reason why I thought I'd bring this to you guys is because you're so nice and you've been really real pleasure to have on our flight today. And of course, Mr. Angry got a little bit more angry because he didn't get any.
Mr. Angry.
Yeah.
Actually, that reminds me of that airline, the same airline, when we were flying out. Something went wrong with our booking in that when they did give us our food, it got a meat in. Now, we don't eat meat. And obviously we explained that to the air hostess and she went, "Oh, right, okay." She said, "Let me go away and see what I can do." Anyway, she'd been gone for about 10 minutes. And then she came back and she gave us a lovely vegetarian meal each, didn't she?
She did.
But what we didn't realise until we spoke to her once we'd eaten it and said how lovely it was, that was one of the meals for the staff.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Somebody
say,
had given that up for us. And I just thought, how amazing is that? You know, they probably brought their own food anyway, or whatever, but it's still an absolute random act of kindness. They didn't have to do that. They could have just found me a bit of bread and butter or something. But we had a lovely meal and somebody, in my mind, gave that up for us. And I thought that was lovely.
That's the thing, isn't it? It just makes you feel so good, doesn't it? It's just all that feeling of love or cared for.
Yes.
Anything is just as, someone's gone out of their way for you.
Yeah, so when we finish this podcast, I'm going to go to a really nice restaurant and start being nice to people because I might get some food.
Honestly, he does.
I thought you was going to say, "We'll go to a cafe. I'll be really kind and buy you both a drink."
No. Actually, that does bring me to the next little thing I was going to talk about, which is random acts of kindness. So obviously, we're all nice people here because you're one of the nicest people we know, of course.
Thank you.
But I've got a list of things that we compiled earlier, and the first one was buy a stranger a coffee. Have you ever done that before?
Do you know what I do? I won't say regularly, but I sometimes do is the homeless. Yeah. That if I'm passing, you know, a lot of them will sit outside the supermarket now. So as I go in, I'll just say to them, "Is there anything that you want?" And there was a guy the other day that then made me laugh. "Oh yeah, can I have?" And then reeled me off a load of. Well, I said, "All right, mate," but then I thought
he's ordering. Did he?
And then I thought, fair play to you.
Okay.
So I did, and then he wanted a coffee, and I thought, lovely sandwich, coffee, and some bits. And I just thought, do you know what? It doesn't mean much for me, and for him, it's something big. So I have done that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. We've got another one here, which was either send a letter, postcard, card, or something, or even just a message to a friend. Now, I done this the other day. We was driving past a street where one of our friends used to live, and we haven't seen her for ages. Obviously, we're moving away. Less chance of that, but she moved out of Northampton as well. So I sent her a little message and just said, "Oh, I haven't seen you for ages. How's things been going?" And we had a really nice little catch-up. You know, she's got engaged. They've got a little puppy who's now growing up into a boisterous dog and things like that. And it was just so lovely just to reach out and catch up. And her life's going great. We obviously filled her on our latest news and everything like that. So sometimes that's cool, isn't it? But we don't always send letters through the post anymore.
We don't, do we? When was the last time you sent a letter that you can remember that you actually sat down and wrote a letter or a postcard to anybody?
Well, funny enough, I looked to nearly send my mum a postcard when I was
you?
away. Yeah, and I just thought, I should, and I just never did.
No.
But as you were talking about, I was thinking, I don't do letters, but what I can do often is cards.
Yeah.
I'll buy, like, if I'm thinking of someone or there's something that I might want to say thank you or just whatever, I will buy a card and write a little note in and post it. Because I think
it's nice,
yeah,
isn't it?
just to receive.
Yeah.
They're not expecting it, so
No.
out of the blue. And I just think that just shows that why I'm sending it, but just a little, someone's thinking of them.
Because when you think about it these days, you don't receive much post.
No.
Well, you don't really get bills anymore, do you? So you don't really get a lot of posts. So to get something nice like
Makes it
that,
special.
it's
It
going
does,
to brighten somebody's day up. Because we said about once we've settled in Lanzarote, that we're going to start regularly sending the grandchildren little postcards, or even just like a little letter. So that's something for them to receive, and they can probably keep it for however long they want, but it's like a little memory as well, a keepsake for them, and maybe put a little picture in there or something.
And so this is what we were doing 6 months ago, because the post system's so poor there.
Starting to come through.
I've got another one here, and Jules and I obviously do this quite a lot, as you know, but volunteering or giving time to a charity, and you spend a lot of time running Breast Friends Northamptonshire, and even remotely now. And also we spend a lot of time helping Headway, the brain injury charity. So they're two really good things. But volunteering, giving back sometimes is really good, isn't it? It doesn't necessarily have to be to a charity, but it could just be a random act of kindness or helping somebody out. And I know you've done that before with NLP, haven't you?
Yeah, even sometimes when it's something, I don't know, say simple, or if someone comes to me and I know they don't really have the money and stuff like that, that there will be times through the year that I'll pick a few people that I will do sessions for free. Because I think, well, it's just my time, and I would rather do that and help someone than someone suffering.
Someone suffer,
because they can't pay. But volunteering, I just think, I mean, I must admit, it's, as you were talking then, I thought it is something I would like to do more of going in and doing something else, taking time out to do that.
Talking about volunteering, this is something some of our friends do in Lanzarote. There's quite a number of homeless dogs over there. So quite a number of our friends go and take these dogs out for a walk. And they go regularly once a week. And one of them, she's waiting to move into her new home. Hopefully, I think it's in August. And she's made friends with this dog, and she's going to rehome him and take him to her new house. And she met him just by volunteering and taking him for a walk. And she's just fell in love, and they've just built this lovely relationship up. And
That's so lovely, isn't it? It's so dangerous doing something like that, because you might end up with a pet.
I know, that's why I've not done it yet.
The dog gives you the puppy eyes.
As you said that, I thought, I remember working in an orphanage in China, and I nearly came home with one. Dangerous,
yeah, it is, isn't it? It's quite an emotional thing to do. Really.
Yeah, you get attached, don't you?
I've got another one here, is helping a neighbour out, maybe giving them something. When we lived in Northampton, we used to take in a lot of parcels for each other, because the Amazon delivery guys would always come at random times, so we'd always be swapping parcels. But when we come to move, we had some things in the house that we no longer needed. And this is really random, because we had about 5 bags of coat hangers. Now, I don't want to just throw them in the bin, but coat hangers don't really mean a lot, and everybody's probably got 1 million in their cupboards. So I just put onto our little Facebook group in the area, would anybody like some coat hangers? And from that, a guy got in touch and said he helps out volunteering at a food bank. And he said, bring as many coat hangers as you got. So he got 5 bags load, of course. From that conversation, we then was talking about what else does the food bank want? Because obviously you just think a food bank would have food. We didn't give him any food at all, but we gave him loads of kitchen stuff, glasses, cups, knives and forks, plates. And in the end, the chap was so grateful for it. But we weren't giving it to him. We were giving it to somebody else.
The community, wasn't it, really?
Everyone.
So that was really, really amazing, that little community, and just passing on things that we no longer needed, and fundamentally could have gone at the tip, really, but they didn't.
And it just gives you a nice warm fuzzy feeling being kind, doesn't it? It's good for you personally, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it. It goes both ways, doesn't it? It feels good for you just to randomly do something, but then also know that person receiving it feels good because it's coming from nowhere. So that's sort of giving and receiving, isn't it?
What is that saying? It's better to give than to receive. That's an old saying, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. As you said earlier, Jules, when we were chatting, is that can't just give, though.
No.
You have to learn to receive as well, take back that love and fill your container again, so it's easier to give out again. Yeah,
fill
definitely.
your container. I like that one. We're bad, though, aren't we, the British?
At
receiving.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen you for ages, and you look absolutely stunning and radiant. And
Go on, keep going.
But we can do that. We're really good friends.
Yeah.
But some people they're not very good at taking compliments.
Definitely not. And I notice as well, like when you give someone something, it's always straight away, they're like, oh, what can I give you in return?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not what it's about.
No.
Or you sometimes,
Oh, actually, that's just reminded me. We were in the a local public house at the weekend. And we met up with some of the family, and I went to get myself a drink, and I said, who else wants one? And one of the members of our family said, oh, I won't, because they hadn't got enough money to buy me one back.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not buying you one to get one. I'm asking you, do you want one?
That's really nice, isn't it? That actually brings me on to the next topic we're going to talk about. So
Are you going to take us to the pub afterwards then?
We can go to the pub afterwards. Or we could go to that coffee shop and be really nice and see if somebody gives us some food. But no, seriously, this one says, let your appreciation be known. This could be a little bit like writing the little letter to somebody and saying how grateful you are. But this could be leaving a nice review on their website. It could be tagging somebody in a post on social media. And last week, one of our previous guests, who's also a very lovely guy, Bob Allen, shared one of our posts on social media through LinkedIn and said, these guys really, really know their stuff, and here's a great bit of advice. Now, obviously, that didn't cost us anything. It didn't cost him anything. But the feeling that Bob had shared that for us, and I'm just picking out one thing there because I remembered him doing it. People doing this all the time and just saying really nice things about you. And then I was like, oh, great, thanks, Bob. You know, the following day, he'd commented on something on one of my friend's social media posts who was injured. And I said, oh, you need to talk to Bob because he's a really great guy. He's good at fixing people. And if you haven't had a conversation, I trust his judgment. So it actually did go both ways.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel I had to do that because Bob done that for us. And that will bounce backwards and forwards. It's a really nice gesture. So letting your appreciation be known could just be saying something nice about somebody on social media. And it doesn't have to be business related, does it?
No, I agree with you there, because we are quick enough to jump at the, when you do feedback. So even I'm thinking then of restaurants, like things, lots of people will pick up on the bad things, but they don't review on the good. Like, you've had a really good experience. You don't think about leaving feedback for that, but you're quick enough to jump when something's not right.
Yeah, that's very true.
So it's nice to get, the good feedback.
This is the whole thing, and this is what all of our life skills and personal development and the mindset coaching and that we do is having that positivity, isn't it?
Yeah,
as opposed
definitely.
to the negativity. And like you're just saying, instead of thinking about, well, that was awful, think about something that was really good. Being able to give that feedback.
Yeah, it just took me actually, because it must have been, about a month or so ago. My mum had a car accident. Only just kind of hit a tyre on going over a roundabout. It of hit that. But anyway, the car wouldn't start again. And there was 2 police officers that came along, bless them, took a car off the road and sat on the side with her for a couple of hours till recovery turned up.
Oh, wow.
2 really lovely officers. We came, we were all sitting chatting for a couple of hours. And we sort of said to them, thank you so much, because you didn't need to do that. You could have just pushed her to the side and said, right, you're safe, off we're going. So what my sister did, she took their name and numbers and then went to the head constable, whoever it was, and wrote this email. Just say, I really want to thank you, because my mum's nearly 80.
Yes.
So we really want to thank, they've done an amazing job, blah, 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 sent all this. And he come back with a beautiful one, just saying, thank you so much. We don't get many of these. We just get complaints all the time. There was something going on in the police force at that time to say, like, our name is a bit mud at the moment. So it's really lovely to get something like this. Really good. And we'll let everyone know in the force, like, I'm doing a blog and this is going out in it. And I just thought, how lovely is that?
That's brilliant.
So it would have just had that knock-on effect.
It does. It does.
So I've got a little summary just to finish off here. And it's called How to Be a Nicer Person. There's 5 little tips on here. So the first one is one that we've just talked about quite a lot, is act with kindness. Always think, how can I be kind? What can I do today which will make me a kind person? And individual acts of kindness release endorphins as well, which help us to feel better. It's good for our well-being.
It's true, isn't it?
That is really true. So as you were saying that, I was just thinking, just before I came here, I popped to a shop to grab a couple of bits. And I know my friend has syrup in her coffee. And there was just a little pot that sat on the side. And I just thought, do you know what? It just reminded me instantly of her. And I just thought, I'm going to grab her that. And it is just that thought. But it made me feel good to think, I know tomorrow when I give it, it'll be like, oh, you thought of me. Or saves me a fortune, keep paying for syrup to go in my coffee when I'm going to have a little bit myself.
Number 2 is avoid being overly critical or negative.
Oh, we've said about that, haven't
We
we?
have, haven't we? But there is a British culture where people like to moan about things.
Yeah, most definitely.
There's a culture where people like to listen to the negative reviews before the positives, or complain about the weather being really bad for one day instead of it being really great for 6 days. So maybe sometimes we just need to not criticise, not listen to the media, the news and all those things that are giving us negative stories.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
think, okay,
definitely.
maybe that person made a mistake, but what could they do better? How can I help them become better?
Yeah, look at the good side of it.
So tip number 3 is being honest.
That's a good tip, yes. It's about being true to yourself, your values, and that's a bit what we were talking about, branding yourself last week. By branding yourself, it's letting people know what your values are and yeah, being honest.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, because I think if you live by your own values and you're honest by them, you're more authentic, and that's what people are more drawn to, aren't they? Sort of the real you.
And I think if you are that sort of person, that you are true to your values and you are authentic, you actually attract people
Like-minded.
like that as well,
definitely.
don't you?
I'm going to throw this one to you, Lex, because this is massively your expertise.
We'll see about
Number
that.
4 is being nice to yourself, positive self-talk.
Yeah, God, that's so important, isn't it? Because it's funny, isn't it? Like, people don't think about their own thoughts. And a lot of the time you do, you know, when you listen, or I listen to my clients and the stuff that they say, it's like, wow, like, turn that around. The stuff that you say to yourself, would you say to someone else?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And most of them will laugh and be like, no, like, that's really awful. And they're like, well, why are you saying it to yourself? That's it. If you want your self-esteem, if you're talking negatively to yourself, putting yourself down, not caring for yourself, it just has that knock-on effect to your self-esteem as well.
That's true.
So,
We are.
yeah.
I think we're so hard on ourselves.
Definitely.
Sometimes. I know I do that sometimes, and I really have to check myself sometimes and say, well, that weren't very nice.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll be honest. I still, I can still find myself doing, but I have to stop myself to go, whoa, hang on a minute.
But I love that. And if, listeners, if anything that you take away from today is that what you say to yourself, would you actually say that to others? That's such a good one, Lex.
Love that.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Absolutely love. And the last one is number 5, be open-minded. And I guess this is, again, about not being negative or overly critical. But if you haven't tried something before, thinking, oh, that could be quite exciting to try that. Because sometimes people are quick to knock it down before they've tried it.
Yes, definitely. I think that's it, the key. Like, I just think, I don't know, it helps you and someone else by being open-minded, because you're more willing, aren't you? Whereas I think if you're closed off, and you can be quite judgmental then, can't you?
Yes.
Which then has a knock-on effect to someone else, which will think, if you're being judgmental, they'll think, well, you don't really care, or you're not a kind person, whatever it is. Where actually it's like, try and be open-minded to understand whatever's going on, that person or the situation.
Absolutely, yeah. And also accept people for who they are as well. Because not everybody's kind. Some people aren't, but some people can't help it.
Yeah.
And, just being open-minded and try not to be, like you just said, too judgmental, really.
So there's our summary. Act with kindness, avoid being overly critical, be honest, be nice to yourself, and be open-minded.
I like
like
being nice
that.
to yourself. Let's go for a nice coffee.
How about be
Take
nice
care.
to yourself for the sake of being nice, have a nice coffee.
And
Maybe a cake.
And a cake. We're on the same page.
And then you'll have a nice day.
I'm
Well,
up for that.
Yeah, you help a lot of people be nice. So where can they find you? Because they need to get in touch with you if they want to find out how to be a nice person.
Yes, so the best place will be to go onto my website, which is freshperspective.life. So it'll have all my details on there, email, phone number. So any queries can go through there straight to me. So yeah, that will be your best place to do it.
Yeah. So if you think you need a little bit of a mindset reset, Lex is your
to me.
lady. Thank you ever so much, Lex, for coming in today. It's been absolutely wonderful to chat with you again here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our listeners have thoroughly enjoyed it too. So yeah, thank you.
Ah, you're welcome. Like I say, thank you for always inviting me, and it's always a pleasure. I always enjoy it.
It's always nice to see you.
Hey, boom,
To
boom.
see you, nice.
I was about to say that.
So if you want to find out a little bit more about the Future Toolbox, you can go to our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we're on LinkedIn because we are.
Everywhere.
And one final little plug. If you're feeling nice and generous, we have actually just launched a crowdfunder page.
We have.
So if anybody would like to donate to that, businesses or personally, this will help people access the Future Toolbox tools. So we look forward to catching you all next week. See you soon.
Yay. Bye for now.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.